Welcome to another episode of Sailing Quick Creations, where we're restoring a 46-foot John Pugh motor sailor. This week we're looking at finishing off cutting out all the rust that's on board and putting replacement panels in, getting all the panels made up ready for welding. We're going to move one of the hatches, which is inconveniently located underneath where the chains will end up going for the anchors. And so long as you want anchors on a boat, and most boats do want to have anchors, you will never be able to open the hatch. So we're going to move that hatch, make up new pieces to go over where the dissimilar metals were up in the bow, and get that all prepped and ready for welding. And we're going to clean inside the boat. So let's see how far we get with all that, and let us know what you think, and hopefully enjoy the episode. Thanks everyone. Morning everyone, we're going to get started on this forward bow section, removing all the hatches and put them in the right spot. So let's have a look at what step one is going to be. Step one is to remove this hatch. Hopefully we can use it again a bit further down, but it needs a lot of work to get it right. But first, cut this hatch out. Might go as close as I can to this doubler plate. And then we will then look at removing this hatch, and thirdly we've got to put it over there. So let's get cutting this one out. So now the only thing holding this hatch on is these webs. A bead of weld either side, welding across here, and nothing holding that one on. So I am going to have to take this weld off now. It's going to be frustrating. So we're going to measure all this up, this bow bit, and we're going to cut out the replacement pieces of steel to go in. So it would be nice to get it all cut out in one piece, but I don't see how I'm going to be able to slide it in there unless I remove all this, and don't really want to do that. So I'll probably just do what the other guys did and cut it out in two pieces, and we'll get that in there. I am going to be cleaning the inside of the boat. We blasted the external of the boat and a lot of the garnet come inside where there was holes and stuff. So we're going to clean all this up by hand and then give it a vacuum. And then in a pressure wash, get all the dust and cobwebs off all the walls, and then we'll see what we've got and we can start work on the inside. Next, after the clean up, then I'll put a temporary floor down so we can get around easier and walk, and that's what we're going to get started on now. Time to stop and have something to eat. It's a hot day today. The only thing I can think of eating is fruit. It's nice and moist. It's 35 degrees I think today. So inside this boat must be at least 40, 45. We've done most of this cabin. I thought I'd sit down in here because it gives me a sense of feeling of how big it's going to be. I'm going to run you through some of the bad things I've found. It's amazing how people cut corners when they're trying to build some beautiful boat like this, and they're just cutting corners and throwing in ugly pieces of steel, and it's horrible. But got to do it right. If they did it right first time, I wouldn't have to do it again a second time. But that's why I got the boat so cheap, I guess. Got that hot, I had to go and have a break, got some lunch, had it sit in the aircon for a little bit, and started working a little bit later in the day because it's a nice cool breeze starting to pick up now and the temperature's dropping. So we're just about finished cleaning up the boat. Just got the forward cabins to do now. So I sit in here because it's nice and comfy and out of the sun, and gives me a bit of a feel on how big the place is going to be and how much room it's going to have. Get a feel of how big the saloon is going to have to be, and we're going to have a kitchen over there and a nav station over here, and have some upright fridges over there, maybe a coffee station. Get a bit of a feel of the room. Actually 2 floors in here. 2 owners ago, the owner chopped the floor out and lowered it down here. And then the guy I bought it off of didn't like that, so he raised the floor up back to where it should have been. He hasn't done a fantastic job, as you probably noticed with all the other stuff he's done on the boat, but it's a floor. Whether or not I'll keep it, I don't know yet. Got to decide if it's worth cleaning it up. So here is a dissimilar metal plate that I cut off the aft deck. It's galvanized steel. I've got this offcut here. It's just slightly too small by 5mm on this side, and a little bit too big by about 5mm on this side. So 5mm is not something I'm going to worry about. There'll be a gap when I go and fit this in, but I'll bridge weld that. So when you've got a large gap, you can bridge weld that gap. So just a little bit more effort, but saves me cutting into this big piece of plate. I can save that for if I need it for something bigger later. I don't even know if I'll need it, I may not, but I'd rather lose 5mm here and bridge weld it up than to cut into a big plate that I could potentially use for something else. So I'll use up this little offcut, and that'll give me a nice piece to weld in the aft deck. So I'm going to cut that up. Gonna have to excuse the mess in the cockpit here, but last thing I need to do with the hull repairs for all the corrosion and dissimilar metals is fix up this little spot here in the cockpit. The other side was much worse, but it's just a little piece. So we're gonna go down and cut out a piece to fit in there. It's only corroded up to here, but I'm gonna replace this whole strip because got a little bit of metal loss here. It's not bad, but while we're at it, we might as well replace anything that's bad. And we'll go 40mm by 270mm. So I'll go down and cut that now. So I've just marked out a square which I'm going to cut. So what I've done is marked out just above this weld that attaches the floor here to the side wall. So we're just going to run our cut above that. It's going to be a lot easier to fit that in, and yeah, I've just come just slightly off of this weld here, so we're not going to interfere with that weld, and it just will fit in and nestle in there a lot easier. These verticals we're going to do from inside the boat, because if I tried to cut that here, I'll end up cutting into the floor. So we'll head inside and cut the verticals. We'll just cut down. So the new piece didn't turn out too bad. It'll get welded in there tomorrow. Thanks for watching another episode. We didn't get as far as we wanted this week due to the heat. We got to 35 to 37 degrees, so inside the boat it felt like it was 40, 45. So even just touching any of the metal that I was cutting up the replacement panels, it was just even hot to touch it through the gloves. So we had to take a lot of regular breaks so that we didn't get heat stress or heat stroke. So we didn't get as far as we wanted, but we plodded along. We did what we could do. All the replacement panels for all the corrosion and all the dissimilar metals have been made up and prepped, ready to be welded. We've removed the hatch up the front. So that's gone, and now it's not going to be a problem for us. And we've cleaned all internal of the boat, so that's all ready to start work inside. So hopefully next week we're going to be looking at making the temporary flooring that's going to go down, and we will look at welding in all those replacement panels that we've made up. So stay tuned next week. Hopefully everyone's on board and happy to leave a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks guys.